Alrighty, folks, it is Wednesday, June 7th, 2023, and I'm 3-0 my last three extra daily bets on my website. And the good news is, if you sign up for that package here today, I'm going to give you access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days for just $2.99. But wait, there's more, because as an added bonus, I'm also going to throw in for you access to my daily best play for the next 30 days, absolutely free as well. It's going to be included with your purchase. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the A's at the Pirates, 12:35 Eastern first pitch. Pittsburgh is minus 185, totals 8.5. Ronzi Contreras for Pittsburgh, Hogan Harris for Oakland. And out of just 10-plus innings of work for the Hulkster, lefty's got an ERA dangerously close to 7. And even if Hoagie has a good outing here today, he is backed by the worst hitting lineup in baseball. Probably not going to get the run support he needs. Now they're facing Ronzi Contreras on the other side, who's got a couple of wins on the year for Pittsburgh, along with 42 strikeouts. Now the Buccos also have a winning record at PNC Park, and their pitching staff's in the top 10 in fewest runs allowed per game. Now, Pittsburgh saw the over cash in 6 out of their last 10. Oakland's gone 66% to the over when they bat first. Give me Pittsburgh minus 185, over 8.5. Next contest, it is going to be Mariners Padres, 4:10 Eastern first pitch. San Diego's minus $1.20, totals 8. Michael Wacha for the Pods, George Kirby for Seattle. Now, Kirbs has a handful of wins on the season with an ERA of 3.04. Kirby's also shown excellent control this year. He's got 58 strikeouts compared to only 6 walks. And no real surprise, the righty's got himself a stingy 1.01 whip. Now, he's facing a Padres lineup on the other side who struggles getting on base. They're averaging under 7.3 hits a game, which actually ranks dead last in the National League. And when these guys are at Petco Park, they really don't send many runners across the plate. They're averaging only 3.9 runs a game in front of their own crowd, certainly not giving them much to cheer for. Now, injury-wise, Nelson Cruz is still out for the Pods. Bogarts and Grisham are also questionable. The Padres did see 6 out of their last 7 interleague home games stay under the total. They're also 11-2 to the under in all of their contests against American League opponents. Seattle, on the other side, they are 70% to the under against the National League on the road themselves. Give me Seattle plus $1, under 8. Next contest, Tigers, Phillies, 6:05 Eastern start time. Philadelphia's minus 250, totals 8. Zach Wheeler for the Titans, Reese Olson for Detroit. And as I indicated yesterday in my video, these Tiger batters can't hit for shit. They're dead last in the AL Central in hits per game on the road. They're also scoring a league-worst 3.3 runs a game while traveling. They're facing Zach Wheeler on the mound, who's got a handful of wins along with 79 strikeouts. And even though the Phils struggle offensively on the road, they have a little issue getting base runners at Citizens Bank Park. These guys are in the top 10 in the majors in home hits per game. Nick Castellanos has the 7th highest batting average in the big leagues. He's also leading the roster right now in hits. Meanwhile, Kyle Schwarber's a top 5 home run guy in the National League. Alec Boehm's still out for Philly. Vierling, Green, and Carpenter out for Detroit. The Tigers did see 6 out of their last 10 outings stay under the total. Philadelphia is 64% to the under against American League competition. Give me the Phillies minus 1.5, under 8. Next contest, Royals, Marlins, 6:10 Eastern first pitch. Miami's minus 175, totals 8.5. Eddie Cabrera for Miami, Jordan Lyles for Kansas City. Now, Jordy, I'll tell you what, he's having a rough one. Lyles is a pitiful 0-9 with an ERA close to 7. And these Royal hitters, they're averaging only 3.5 runs a game on the road. That's worse in the AL Central. Now they're facing Eddie Cabrera, who's got a handful of wins and 76 strikeouts. This Marlins lineup has also done a nice job at the plate recently. They currently find themselves in the top 5 in the National League in hits per contest. And of course, much of that is thanks to Luis Arias, who's hitting an insane 401 at the plate. That's obviously a league best in batting average. And of course, Jorge Soler, he's got the 4th most home runs in the major leagues right now. Garcia and Chisholm are still out for Miami. Kyle Isabel inactive for Kansas City. 7 out of the Royals' last 10 outings did stay under the total. KC's also 66% to the under in their travels. The Marlins saw the under cash in 20 home games already on the season. Give me Miami minus 175, under 8.5. Next game, Twins Rays, 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Tampa Bay's minus 140, totals 8.5. Sean Armstrong for the Rays, Pablo Lopez for Minnesota. Now, Pablo's got just 3 wins on the year along with a 4.54 ERA. These Twins hitters also strike out more times per contest than any other lineup in baseball. They're facing a Rays team who scores more runs a game than any other lineup in that high-powered AL East. Yandy Diaz has the 2nd highest OPS average in the entire major leagues. Meanwhile, Wander Franco leads the roster in hits. Brandon Lau still out for Tampa. Gallo, Buxton, and Gordon inactive for the Twins. Minnesota saw the under cash in 6 out of their last 10. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay on the other side, they've seen plenty of unders recently themselves. They're 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Tampa Bay minus 140, under 8.5. Next contest, D-backs Nationals, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Arizona's minus $1.35, totals 9.5. Zach Davies for Arizona, Patrick Corbin for Washington. Now Corb's, he's got a losing record on the year along with an ERA dangerously close to 5. Washington has also had a tough time producing runs in their own ballpark. They're averaging only 3.7 runs a game in Nationals Park this season. They're facing an Arizona lineup who can certainly score with the best of them. These guys are a top 5 run-producing team in the National League. Christian Walker is the team leader in homers and RBI. Lourdes Gurriel, he's in the top 10 in both batting average and OPS. Kyle Lewis is still out for Arizona. Victor Robles inactive for Washington. 3 out of the Nats' last 4 at home did get over the total. They also went 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Arizona's 63% to the over as the official road team. Give me the Diamondbacks, minus 135, over 9.5. Next contest, White Sox, Yankees, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. New York's minus $1.30, totals 9. Randy Vasquez for New York, Lance Lynn for Chicago. Now, Lynn's got 6 losses on the year and a 6.55 ERA. And even though the Sox have looked good over the past week or so, they do struggle away from Chicago. Out of 31 contests on the road this year, the Sox picked up the W only 11 times. And no real shock here, Chicago's in the bottom 5 in the American League in road hits per game. They're facing a Yankee team who won 6 out of their last 9 themselves. And they allow very little base runners. As a matter of fact, this Yankee pitching staff allows fewer hits a game than any other rotation in baseball right now. Aaron Judge, he's out with a toe. Billy Hamilton's out for Chicago. 3 out of the White Sox last 4 road games got over. They're also 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Yankees minus 130, over 9. Next contest, Astros Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern start time. Toronto's minus $1.60, totals 9. Chris Bassett for Toronto, Ronel Blanco for Houston. And out of 17-plus innings of work, Blanco's got 21 strikeouts, and he's yet to record a loss. Now, this Houston pitching staff is arguably the best in the majors. They lead the Bigs in strikeouts per 9. They're also giving up fewer runs a game than any other pitching staff in the league. They're facing a Toronto team who's had a tough time at the plate in recent gatherings with the Astros. Toronto's been held to under 3.9 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Houston. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. And as good as Chris Bassett's looked on the mound, these Blue Jays pitchers as a whole, they've had a tough time keeping the ball in the park this year. They allow more home runs a game than most clubs in the American League. Danny Jansen's still out for the Jays. Jose Altuve is questionable for Houston. 6 out of the Astros' last 10 gatherings with Toronto stayed under the number. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Now, the Blue Jays also saw 4 out of their last 5 in their own building stay under. Give me Houston plus 1.5, under 9. Next contest, Bo Sox Guardians, 7:10 Eastern start time. Cleveland's $1.30, totals 8. Tanner Bybee for Cleveland, Cutter Crawford for Boston. Now, the Cut Dogs got an ERA in the 3s along with a .95 whip. He's also backed by a top 5 run producing lineup in the Bigs. Alex Verdugo's the club leader in hits. Rafi Devers is 4th in the Bigs in RBI. Now, they're facing a Cleveland squad who just doesn't want to win for Tanner Bybee. Even though the righty's been really good through 39-plus innings this year, he's got just 1 win on the season to show for it. The Guardians also can't score for shit. They're averaging a league-worst 2.7 runs a game at their home ballpark. And speaking of Progressive Field, Cleveland saw the under cash in 20 out of 28 home games. No real shock there. They just don't score in Cleveland. Meanwhile, Boston went 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Bo Sox plus $1.10, under 8. Next contest, Dodgers Reds, 7:10 Eastern start time. The LA Dodgers are minus 165, totals 11. Noah Syndergaard for Los Angeles, Brandon Williamson for Cincinnati. Now out of 21 innings of work, the lefty Williamson has been more than serviceable. He's yet to record a loss this year. The Reds have also been a solid run line team at home. They've cashed in on the run line in nearly 70% of their contests against National League opponents at the Great American Ballpark. Now they're facing a Dodger club who's on a 3-game skid, and they allowed 19 total runs during that span. They also have Noah Syndergaard on the mound, who's got an ERA in the 6s, along with just 1 win through 52+. And even if he does have a good outing here today, the Dodgers are a bottom 10 hit-producing team on the road. Trace Thompson's still out for the Dodgers. Myers, Senzel, and Friedel out for Cincinnati. The Reds did go 60% to the over in their last 10 ball games. Meanwhile, Los Angeles saw 8 out of their last 10 get over the total themselves. Give me Cincinnati plus 1.5, over 11. Next ball game, it is going to be Mets at the Braves, 7:20 Eastern first pitch. Atlanta's minus $1.20, totals 9. Charlie Morton for Atlanta, Max Scherzer for New York. And even though Max is back to his true form, the Mets are currently a game below 500, and they play their worst baseball on the road. Now, when it comes to offensive production, the Mets are a bottom 10 run-producing team, despite having the league's home run leader in their lineup. They're going to have to face Charlie Morton, who's got a handful of wins and a whole lot of strikeouts. Charlie's fanned 72 batters in just 64-plus innings. And no real shock here, the righty's got himself an ERA in the 3s. Now, this Braves pitching staff as a whole, they're striking out 10.7 batters a game on their home field. That is a league best in that category. The Braves also saw 7 out of their last 9 divisional home games get over the total. They're also 67% to the over at Truist Park. Give me Atlanta, minus 120, over 9. Next contest, Orioles Brewers in 7:40 Eastern first pitch. Milwaukee's minus $1.45, totals 8. Corbin Burns for Milwaukee. Dean Kramer for Baltimore. Now, Kramer's 6-2 with 54 strikeouts. The O's also have a top 3 run-producing lineup on the road. Adley Rutschman leads the roster in hits. Austin Hayes has the highest batting average in the lineup. Now they're facing a Milwaukee team who has a tough time getting base runners at home. They're averaging under 7.1 hits a game on their home field, and that's nearly a league worst in that category. These Milwaukee hitters are also fanning nearly 10 times a game at the dish. Adames and Winker are out for the Brewers. Mullins popped his testicle for Baltimore. No, I'm just kidding. I got to stop saying that. He's got a groin injury. I said he popped a nut yesterday. I also said he popped a testicle the day before. The joke's getting old, okay? He didn't pop a nut. He pulled his groin. All right, 3 out of the O's last 4 road games fell under. They're also 75% to the under against National League opponents. Now, Milwaukee saw 8 out of their last 10 stay under the total themselves. Give me Baltimore plus 1.5, under 8. Next contest, Cards, Rangers, 8:05 East. Texas is minus 145, totals 9. John Gray for the Rangers, Jack Flaherty for St. Louis. Now, Flaherty's walked a whole bunch of batters. He has a 4.55 ERA. Now, he also has a 1.52 whip as well. The Cards are playing some really bad team baseball right now. They took the loss in 8 out of their last 10. And they have a tough time scoring on the road. St. Louis is being held to only 3.9 runs a game in their travels. They're also facing John Gray, who's 6-1 on the year with a 1.04 whip. Now, Gray is also backed by the best hitting lineup in baseball. Adolis Garcia has the second most RBI in the majors. Marcus Semien also has the most hits on the roster. Brad Miller is still out for the Rangers. O'Neill, Carlson, and Nootbaar injured for St. Louis. Now, the Cards saw the over cash in 60% of the road game. They saw over 60% of their road games stay under the total. They're also 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. The Rangers went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me Texas minus 145, under 9. Next matchup, Giants, Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. San Francisco's the $2.10 favorite on the road, totals 11 runs. Logan Webb for San Francisco. Connor Seabold for Colorado. And even though Seabold hasn't been great, he's only recorded 2 losses in 41-plus innings. Rockies also pound the baseball at Coors Field. They are a top 3 hit-producing team on their own diamond. Elias Diaz, he's in the top 10 in the National League in batting average. Ryan McMahon's the club leader in hits. Now, they're facing a Giants team who just doesn't want to win for Logan Webb for whatever reason. Despite having some really good numbers this year, Webb comes into today's start with 6 losses on the season and a losing record. He's also backed by a Giants lineup who strikes out 11 times a game on the road. That is the most in the major leagues. Now, injury-wise, C.J. Cron and Chris Bryant are still out for Colorado. When it comes to the total, the Rockies saw their last 3 straight at Coors Field get over the total. Meanwhile, San Francisco went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me Colorado plus 1.5, over 11. And with that, guys, now it's time for our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Cubs-Angels game, 9:38 East. LA is minus $1.35, totals 9. Jaime Barria for Los Angeles. Jameson Taillon for Chicago. Now, Taillon's got just 1 win on the season with an ERA close to 8. Now, the Cubs have also been getting dominated on the road. Out of 29 away games this year, Chicago got the W only 11 times. And they've certainly struck out a whole bunch of times at the plate. They're facing Jaime Barria on the mound for Los Angeles, and he's averaging a strikeout an inning. He also has an ERA of 1.59 along with a 1.00 whip. And even if for some reason Barria has a rough go of things here today, he is backed by a top 5 home run producing lineup in the American League. Ohtani and Trout have 29 home runs between the both of them. Meanwhile, Hunter Renfroe and Brandon Drury have double-digit homers on the year, respectively. Cody Bellinger's still out for the Cubbies. Chicago's gone 90% to the over in their interleague road games this year. The Angels are 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Give me the Angels minus 135, over 9. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Pittsburgh Pirates minus 185, over 8.5. Seattle Mariners plus $1 under 8. Philadelphia minus 1.5 under 8 runs. I'm 3-0 in my last 3 extra daily bets on my website. And the good news is, if you sign up for that package here today, I'm going to give you access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days for just $2.99. And as an added bonus, guys, I'm also going to throw in for you access to my daily best play for the next 30 days, absolutely free as well. It's going to be included with your purchase. Give me Miami minus 175 under 8.5. Tampa Bay minus 140 under 8.5 runs. Arizona minus 135 over 9.5. New York Yankees minus 130 over 9. Houston plus 1.5 under 9 runs. Boston plus $1.10 under 8. Cincinnati plus 1.5 over 11. Atlanta Braves minus $1.20 over 9. Baltimore plus 1.5 under 8 runs. Texas Rangers minus 145 under 9. Colorado Rockies plus 1.5 over 11. With my next and final pick for the video, give me the Angels minus 135 over 9 runs. With that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. You get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase as well. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube or TikTok. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.